All right, looks like let me pause this real quick here. Looks like we are live, and what I am doing right now is unboxing the Valve Index, which just came in. What I was going to do was a recording for the Extras channel. This is it here, just to get a feel for what it looks like. And what we'll do later is actually have a stream of me hooking it up, because I don't have time at the moment to actually hook it up, but I do have time to unbox it. So we're going to unbox it now, and then later we're going to have a live stream of me getting it going on my computer upstairs. I moved my whole gaming rig upstairs to my bonus room there, so that is it. And Recipe Bob just popped in. He said, I can always tell when I am live because I am wearing a hat, which is what I am doing. So what I'm going to do real quick here is record my intro for the Extras channel, and then I'm going to start unboxing this thing, and then hopefully later tonight or tomorrow we will do a gameplay stream where I first of all get OBS working, and then do all that good stuff. So we're going to do it upstairs. So let me begin with the Extras channel first. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and welcome to my Extras channel, and today we're going to be unboxing the new Valve Index. It is on my desk here in a box. It just arrived, and if you don't know what the Valve Index is, it is a high-end VR headset for your PC. So a few weeks ago, we looked at the Oculus Quest, which is an all-in-one device that costs around $400 or so. This fully configured, just for the headset and controllers, is $1,000, and you need the PC that can support it. So I've got upstairs is a quad-core i7 PC. It's one of the older Intel chips, but it's good enough for VR, and it also has a GTX 1080 GPU. So altogether, you'll probably spend about $2,000-ish on something that can support the Valve Index, but it's really designed for that enthusiast market. I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosures, that I paid for this with my own funds, so all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Nobody is paying for this unboxing, nor is anyone reviewing it or approving it before it gets uploaded. And in fact, I am live streaming this right now on my main channel, which is where we will probably do the full review a little bit later in the week, and you can find that at Lon.TV. So welcome to everyone who is watching the stream live here, and everyone who's watching it recorded. Try to do both things at once here and see how it goes. I'm going to put this box down on the floor here and take out, each individual component separately. So the first item here is a rather large box, and I'm hoping they gave me the whole thing here because I needed the controllers too, and the sensors. I figured I would just do the whole big upgrade. Now right now I have the HTC Vive, and I've been very pleased with it overall, but there's things about it that I think could be improved, and I think Valve is trying to address a lot of that here. So this is the main box. So it looks like it's got everything. It's upside down here at the moment. Let me flip it around here so you can see what it has inside. So we'll have the headset, the controllers, and the sensors. And again, later we're going to set this up upstairs, not now. Thank you, Tristan, for your super chat contribution. And let's slice this open here and have a look inside. All right, so here is the full kit, and it is ready to go. In fact, there's not much to unwrap here. It's all just ready to go for us here. So let us look first at the sensors. These are the sensors. You do have to pull these things off here. And what these do is they shower the room with lasers, I believe. And what happens is that these controllers and the headset have reflective surfaces on them. And there's 2 of these, and they can track your position in space. And I found on the Vive, it works incredibly well. So I am eager to see how much better it works now with the Index here, because this was one thing that the Valve, or the Vive did quite well. And we'll get the other one going here. And as I'm unboxing here in our live stream, Holiday says the knuckle controllers are getting panned pretty hard. The main complaint is getting the angle correct in your hand games, along with them being uncomfortable. So that's going to be a big thing that I need to play with here. Now these are the knuckle controllers, and they call them the knuckles because they're designed to basically get strapped in your hand like this. So there is a release here. By the way, this feels really nice. This does not feel cheap by any stretch. So you get your hand in there and you pull on this string. And I know this because I've been watching other people unbox stuff. And you can see now that my hand is in here that the controller is staying relatively put. Get that tight enough. And what happens here is that this surface here is a capacitive sensor, and it can detect your fingers as you're putting them down on the controller surface. Now the big test, of course, is whether or not it can differentiate each individual finger, which is what we'll do when we actually get around to the full gameplay stream that will be happening a little bit later. We have a trigger here. Looks like there's another capacitive sensor here. I'm guessing that's your thumb coming in. And I kind of like this because when you do want to grip something in a game, you have something to hold on to, so there might be a little bit more realism there. And it looks like, too, there's a pressure sensor here because this moves a little bit as I'm doing that. But it feels pretty good. Not bad. All right, so that's the controller. And then if you want to release your hand out of it, you just push the button here and it relaxes that, and you can get your hand back out. But it feels nice. It really does feel nice. And we'll see Holiday, who mentioned that, again, some people are panning the controllers for comfort and angle. We'll definitely look at that, because I can see here as I'm putting my hand in, I'm feeling like I want to hold it like this, but then my finger isn't really touching anything, so I think I have to probably hold it lower and get everything configured that way. So it's going to require some adjustment. We'll see when we get it going. And if you're wondering, we're not going to hook this up right away because my wife and kids are coming back from a trip and I have to help them in about half an hour. So I figured I would do this unboxing here. Here's the other Knuckles controller for the other hand. Looks the same, just for the other hand. You see them there. All right, so now let's look at the headset itself. Oh shit, here's the bit. Here we go. Let's just take the whole thing out. So the way this works is that you have to plug it into your PC. Oh, they Velcroed the manual here into the thing. You have to hook this up to your PC directly, so there's always going to be a wire tethered from your PC. So if you did not like that about other PC VR systems, this is going to be no different. In here we have a setup guide, a guide day configuration. These are all different languages, so they have them all packed in here. And then you have some of your safety and warranty information here, and a chamois cloth for keeping it clean. So let's see what we've got here. Just a bunch of stuff. I'm just curious what the warranty is on this. I think it's a year. Most things are. We'll check that out later. Okay, so let us get the headset out now. So this is the headset. It looks pretty slick. So now the foam pieces here connect magnetically, so they're not like Velcroed or glued in. So this comes out for cleaning. Believe it or not, you can work up quite a sweat in VR. There's some games like Beat Saber in particular is like a really good workout. So you can clean that off if you want. We'll pull the thing off the sensors there. Now on the bottom here they have what's called an interpupillary distance adjustment. So you can adjust this based on how far apart your pupils are. And when you're in the VR experience, you can get that figured out. Now the headphones on this are integrated and they sit over but not on your ears. So that is what those are doing there. Then you have the front here, and there is some plastic here to pull off. Oops, it takes the whole thing off here. So we'll put that back on in a second. Now they have here, just like Tesla's, they have a frunk, which they hope that developers might take advantage of in the future. So you could, there's a USB port in here, so you could put in, you know, one of those Leap motion sensors or something and do more with the VR headset. So it'll be interesting to see what people come up with for that frunk area, because you could probably fit a decent size USB device of some kind, additional sensors and that sort of thing. There are stereo cameras here on the front, but this is not used for tracking. Remember, you've got to have these things in your room mounted somewhere. You can put them on a wall. What I have set up is a bunch of old light stands, and you'll see that in my full stream later, that I use to just kind of get them off the floor. And I'm actually eager to see if these have a greater range, because my current HTC Vive sensors are not detecting the size of my room properly, so I have to move them closer together. So I'm going to try to put these in the position that I really want them to be, and we'll see how that goes. Now remember, you've got this huge cable that's going to be tethered behind you. It looks like they've got a breakaway here, so that in case you, that's not really such a breakaway. Yeah, it's not all that breakaway there. This looks like a mini display port. So what will happen here is that we have to connect the end of this cable, I believe, to, actually it looks like this goes directly in. So I guess this connects directly into the PC. You've got a USB cable here. You have what looks like a power cable. So this must go from a power cord that's in the box here. And there's also a display port, and this plugs into your video card. And my Vive plugs into the HDMI, this one's display port. And I'm guessing it's because this runs at a much higher frame rate. So this can go up to 144 hertz versus 90 hertz on the Vive. So that's a pretty big jump in performance there. Now, I have heard some people complaining about the nose piece here not being comfortable, and I can see why they might, because it's hard plastic in here. It's not foam. This part here is padded. This part is not. So let me put the headset on real quick, and let's see how this fits. I should probably take my hat off here. Yes, I am just kind of being lazy today. So there's an adjustment here on the back, and that extends out. See that? And I guess you kind of loosen it up and then put it on over. This actually looks like it's going to be easier to manage versus my Vive, because the Vive I've always had trouble with all the different Velcro. There is some Velcro here at the top also, but this looks a lot easier. So let's put it on real quick. And ooh, okay. It feels a little bulkier on first impression here, but it's actually feels pretty good. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of weight on my nose, and it might just be because the cable here is weighting it down a little bit. It's a pretty heavy cable. Yeah, it definitely feels a bit heavier than the Vive does. The Vive was much lighter, but it's not bad. But it's there's definitely a little bit more weight here, or maybe just more bulk. I don't know. It just definitely feels heavier. Although they say the field of view on this one is better. And I will say it actually, if the fit is much better too. It feels like it's on my face more securely. The Vive tends to flop around a bit just because there's so many Velcro straps to adjust on it. This one just has one here. So it's pretty good. I am still seeing a little bit of light under my nose here. It's not sealing perfectly, but it's a lot less light than I'm typically seeing on my Vive, where a lot of light is often bleeding in through the sides here. So that's pretty good. And it also allows you to tilt the, I think it does a little bit here, yeah. So you can also tilt the headset up like this, so you can just look at your PC screen without having to take off the entire thing. So there's been some comfort adjustments they've made to it, but it does feel a little bit heavier to me versus the Vive. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so that's the headset. Let's see if there's anything else in the box here. And let's go, oh, there is more stuff in here. Okay, so let's dig in further. Now all the fun stuff is over with. So we have, I don't even know what half this stuff is. So I'm guessing this goes with the sensors, because they has sensors on there. Okay, so this is the power cable for the sensors. It's got this shiny metal thing. I thought it was something else. So this is one of the power cables. And they actually organize this quite well. So you have sensors. They have a wall mount now, so if you want to mount it on the wall, you can do that. And this has got one of those tripod screws in there, the 1/4 inch. And then this, what is this? Oh, this must be the charging cable for the hand controllers. And there's two of those. There's one on each side, and there's also a strap here to put in there as well. So that's that. This looks like a little foam piece, and I'm guessing this is for the back of the headset here. So you could put this in here and make it a little less, if it's a little too hard on the back of your head, it's kind of like memory foam here that can go on the back. I can see this getting really slimy and sweaty. It feels like it will. This thing, let's see what this is. Oh, this is the power cables for the headset. I'm wondering how much, if this is going to be shorter in distance than my Vive is, because my Vive has like a breakout box that then gives you a little bit more room. I do have an extension cable for USB, but we'll have to check it out and see when we get down to it. And I think that's all there is in here. Yep, that's it. So that is the unboxing. So we're going to end the Extras channel video here. Make sure I don't sit on anything as I'm finishing up the review here. So that's going to do it for this unboxing of the Valve Index. I almost said the HTC Vive. And then I'll have a stream shortly with me actually using it and getting it set up. So in that stream, we're going to begin the setup process from scratch, and we'll kind of walk through the whole thing, and then we'll edit together something a little bit more concise. So you'll get my feelings on the screen quality, how it works versus the Vive, and we'll go from there. So that is going to do it for this unboxing on the Extras channel. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, this is Lon.TV. All right, so the unboxing is done. And I'll take a couple of questions real quick, and then I'm going to go and upload this sucker. So what would you like to know? Because Alan Parks has a question about the Vive, or the Index. And it's killing me that I can't play with this right now, because I have to go pick up the family in a little while. And I know that is going to happen the minute I get everything set up. So I see it's supposed to go on the trigger like that. All right. So maybe it will work pretty well. Yeah, pretty good. So Alan Parks, fire away if you're still there, because you had a question. Woo! It's lost. There we go. Back in place. If nobody else has questions, I will actually go and upload this now. But let me know. I'm happy to stick around. Okay. Oh, this is not about the index. So Alan wants to know if I'm going to review the Raspberry Pi 4. And I do plan on reviewing the Raspberry Pi 4 as soon as it arrives. And I should check, actually, to see if it's shipped yet. Because I got it from Element 14. And they have like the worst thing ever, because they take the order and then you never know when it's going to ship. So let me log in there. I meant to do that last night and see. My only concern with reviewing it at this very moment is that none of the open source projects out there that support the Raspberry Pi are yet updated for the 4, because the 4 has a very different processor inside. So it'll work, but I don't think it'll be as optimized as it might be on future versions of it. So I'm specifically thinking about RetroPie and the Kodi port that's on. There was I forgot which one it was, but Libre, whichever one it is. Those two often have a release specific for a specific version of the Raspberry Pi. So for example, there is one of each of those two projects available for the Raspberry Pi 3 specifically, and the Zero, which is the smaller device, and of course the older ones. But I don't yet see the Raspberry Pi 4 on those yet. I'll check RetroPie. Newark still doesn't have any shipping information for me, by the way. So let's see, RetroPie. Let's see if they have anything updated on that. I mean, it'll work, and I think we'll see some improvements, but I think there'll be some optimizations that will undoubtedly make improvements. Yeah, so right now they have a Pi 2 and 3 edition and a Pi 0 and 1, but not the Pi 4. So I'll have to check out and see if there's any updates on that. Let's see if there's any other questions. Vladimir Putin wants to know, hello, Mr. President. He wants to know if I pre-ordered a Google, I'm guessing a Google Stadia, which I did. And actually what you get is the controller and a Chromecast. And I did pre-order it. We'll see how it comes together. I think it's interesting because of the way the controller connects to their service. It's actually designed to try to kind of mitigate some of the controller lag coming in from the host device. So we'll see how that works. So yes, we will be getting one. Londog wants to know price on the Valve Index here. What you see here is $1,000, and that's without the computer. So you need to have a pretty powerful machine to make it work. Jeff Jones wants to know what kind of horsepower is a PC going to need for this thing. They say it will work with like a 1060 NVIDIA card, but I think really the minimum point is going to be a 1070/1080, and the reason is the frame rate. So by default, and games have to support this frame rate specifically for the Index, but the Index is about high frame rates, and that is designed to eliminate lag and make the image look more realistic and clear. So to do that, you need a GPU that can support that level of 3D rendering in two different eyes. And so I have a 1080 and a 4-year-old i7, which I forgot which. It's like the 4th generation chip, and it's been fine on the Vive, and we'll see how well it does here. The GPU is really the bigger factor, and I think the 1080 is probably going to be okay. It's not going to be great, but it's going to be okay, and we'll see what it can do. What'll happen with this is that your game will step down the graphical quality depending on what it needs to do to maintain that frame rate. Let's see. Eric Brunhammer wants to know if, okay, so let me do Oscar's question first. His daughter wants to know if the knuckles are comfortable. Her name is Juliet. Well, Juliet, I will say it feels comfortable to me. Once you tighten it up, I think it's pretty comfortable. And actually, I've never liked the HTC Vive controllers. And the reason is that, especially when you're playing Beat Saber, I'm always hitting the home button on them by accident, and they feel like, the way you have to hold them, they kind of feel like they're going to fall out of your hand. This is not going anywhere. It actually feels good. It's nice and tight around my hand. I'm not slipping out of it. You can make it tighter if you need to. And so it's designed that you can keep it in your hand and wave it around, without actually touching anything. So we'll see how it does in the game, but I'm not bad on the comfort here. It actually feels pretty good. And you have use of your hand, and I think it's more natural. So we'll see how it actually works in practice. But I'm not complaining here. I think I kind of like it. Hopefully this grip here, this is going to be the failure point on these, is long term, how well can this thing maintain tension? So you kind of pull it in there and tighten it up. And the second this thing goes, that's it. The controller is not going to be the same. So hopefully that will not be something with a short lifespan. But it feels good. Everything feels premium, which is good. All right, so let me get the next question here after that comfort question. Eric wants to know, would this be any better in smaller spaces? No, actually, I think if you're in a small space, the new Rift S might be better. And the reason is that you don't have to set up sensors. So it's a little bit easier if you're in front of your desk so that you can get it to work. So I would say if you don't have a big space, the Rift S is probably the way to go. Oculus has their own app store, of course, but Steam's store works with the Oculus, so you have that as an option too. Let's see. I'm not sure what the real gamer is asking here. How is the MX150 in my review? Is it on par with the GTX 1050 laptop? The MX150 is not the same as the 1050. And Vladimir Putin notices my new Captain Picard thing. I have an unboxing that I did. So here's the thing, and this will be on in a couple of days. I got, I was stupid. ThinkGeek is like getting liquidated because GameStop is on the verge of dying, and GameStop owns ThinkGeek. And so they emailed out like a 50% off sale, and I went in, like, there was one thing that I thought I'd pick up, like a bunch of those little mini arcades, and then one thing led to another, and I got a whole box of stuff for $100 that would have normally been $200 because they locked everything in half. And one of the items was the Captain Picard bust here. I got to be very careful because none of these things are. I always thought this was cool, and to get it for like half off was, I forgot what I even paid for it, but it wasn't much. And he's not bronze, but it's metal. It's not plastic. I just think it's cool. So I love Captain Picard. And I'm very much looking forward to his new show. And now he's on my shelf. So I thought that was a nice little thing. He kind of blends in with the background. And yes, I know I need to do something with this background. I have no interior design skills. This is the best I've ever done. So let's see. Amda Brown wants to know if I lost weight. I have not. I am actually about the same weight I've been for the last 5 years. I actually put on weight from my initial weight loss. I went from like 185, 190 down to 140. And then I went back to 150, which is where I'm at now. So I'm doing okay. Although I did put on some weight, not a lot, but I put on like 5 pounds, which I've just lost as the summer's kind of kicked in. So that might be why I'm looking a little thinner. Lon Dog wants to know, having an NVMe hard drive for running this device will have any performance benefits? It depends. It's like any game, really. I mean, these VR games are written with the same libraries. To give you an idea, my computer upstairs, it just has a bunch of SATA drives installed on it because it doesn't have an NVMe port. It's an older motherboard, and I've not had any load time issues or anything else like that. I think the NVMe drives are just wicked fast, but I don't know if there is a benefit that most consumers see out of it. I've never seen any issues gaming on my existing SATA drives there. I actually have upstairs this really cool thing from Icy Docs. I can take my 3.5-inch SATA drives and just pop them in and out. So that's pretty helpful. I have a bunch of SSDs up there. Eric Bazinga says hi. I say hey. The Real Gamer Studios. Oh, he's asking which one's better. I mean, I would get the 1050 versus the MX150 any day. But I think the 1050 is kind of like really on the low end. If you can afford to go to the 1060, it's probably the better way to go. 1070 is probably, if you can get one, I think it's a good deal too. So Eric, the Index is going to go upstairs. I used to do all my VR stuff down here, but then I have a bonus room over the garage. Long story, but what happened was when my second daughter was born, we had to move my oldest daughter out of the room that the new kid was going into. And I thought I had all this time because the baby was due in May. And my wife says, we got to do it long before May because we don't want, Kira to think she's being replaced and da-da-da. I'm like, well, she's not going to think that, but all right. So next thing I know, my wife's friend came over and they moved all of the stuff out of my office upstairs into the bonus room. And then this room wasn't done yet, so I was working out of the bonus room initially. And we did not clean up the bonus room until about 2 or 3 months ago. And so now it's finally like the bonus room that it should be, kind of an entertainment room. So I have my OLED TV up there, and what I did is I set up a little secondary workstation for myself and put the gaming PC over there. And I've got a nice big open space for VR. So you'll see that when I go up later today or tomorrow with the index stream to kind of see how it works. And so it's really nice. And then the other thing I did, because for a while I was streaming games from down here to my NVIDIA Shields in different parts of the house. But remember, we got in that fiber optic HDMI cable a few months ago. I reviewed it on the channel, and that's been great. So I have this 100-foot fiber optic HDMI cable. I just plug it into the back of the PC, and it goes right to my OLED television. I was playing games on my TV like a game console. It was awesome. So no streaming. It adds maybe like 6 or 7 milliseconds of lag. So for the kind of games that I'm playing on my PC, it's not a big deal. So that was pretty good. So Vladimir Putin. Tell you, for running a country there, you got a lot of time on your hands to play some of these games. But he just got an NVIDIA Shield, and he's enjoying that. It's a very good device. The game streaming on the Shield, even internally within your home, is really good. And I've done quite a bit of that. And I did a review of their streaming service, which I think after all the dust settles with Stadia and all the other stuff, like theirs is probably going to be the one that ends up winning out because it's agnostic as to where the games are. So you load it up and your Steam games are available to you. You play the game on the streaming service, it syncs it back with Steam, and then when you're back on your computer, your game is right where you left off. Pretty cool. So that is good stuff. Zakroa is here. And for those of you that missed the unboxing, this is the unboxed Valve Index. And I've unboxed it, but I cannot use it yet because I have to pick my wife and kids up in about 20 minutes or so. And I know it's going to take more time to really get this thing going. So we will play with it as soon as the kids are settled and everybody is doing what they're going to be doing. They may go out to see some fireworks tonight, and I'm just not in the mood to go out tonight. So I might, partly because I want to play with this. So if they do go to that, we'll do it tonight and we'll get it all set up and stream it live. And I'm actually excited to do this because I'm going to get OBS working upstairs and see how that goes. What I could do from a technical standpoint is I could, from it using NDI, which we've talked about on the channel, I could actually channel all the video down here to the TriCaster and stream it out that way. But I think it might be fun to have a secondary production space upstairs. And I'll tell you, the free software, OBS in particular, has come so far since I bought this TriCaster for $1 gazillion back in the day. So that should be fun. Let's see. Eric Bazinga wants to know if I'd be willing to try some multiplayer VR games like Rec Room or VR Chat. Yeah, let's do. So Eric is talking about Rec Room, which is a free multiplayer game on VR. Eric, does that work cross-platform? So if you're on the Quest, you can jump into Rec Room. If I'm on the PC version, that might be kind of fun to do. Actually, it'd be really neat if a lot of you have VR, and maybe we could set up a room or something for that. That might be kind of fun. Rec Room is a blast. I was playing it one night. It's always when the kids are away that I start messing around with this stuff. I was playing the paintball game. I was having a blast with that. And I think part of the thing was that everybody in the room was like, I think they were just kids, because I was actually good at a game for once in my life. I was blowing everybody away. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, here's the thing with VR. I think this is the year that it's going to start to solidify a little more. I've been checking because, I've done VR videos now since way back in 2016 or 2014, I think, when did the Vive come out? Let me check my videos here. When the Vive first came out, I got it day one. And the first time I tried it, I was at PAX East. And I had one on pre-order, and they had one there that was being demoed. And I was like, my gosh, it's like the freaking holodeck. I couldn't believe how good it was. I mean, I heard how good it was, but until you really experience it. And that's one of the hard parts of reviewing this stuff, is that you're only going to hear my impressions. I can show you in a 2D window what I'm seeing, and we'll see the hand controllers kind of working, but the overall experience is something that it's going to be something I have to verbally convey to you, and that's the hard part about reviewing this. But when I started looking at VR, I was surprised by how little interest there was on the channel from subscribers, but also just from search, because over time my videos tend to do very well when consumers are thinking about the product or are interested in it. And if I go back and look at my stuff here, over the years when I've done VR products, they haven't really done that well. But 2 have done okay. Oculus Go did pretty decently. And now the Quest, I think there's a lot of interest in the Quest because I'm seeing very healthy amounts of traffic. In fact, that video is just, I think it's up to like 20,000 views, which for my channel is good. It's better than average. And let me check on the video here if I can go to Oculus Quest and look at the analytics. I'm not sure I can dial in the view on it, but it's exceeded my channel averages. And let me pull up a thing here. We can take a look, a little deeper dive into this here. Yeah, I've had 22,000 views, and it's getting about 500 to 1,000 views a day. And that's unusual because usually when I do a review video, it just kind of accumulates views, but not on a regular kind of basis. And this one has just been far exceeding the average for my channel over time. So there's definitely interest. And a lot of these views are suggested views, so about 75%, which means that people are on YouTube curious about this product and stumbling across my video in the course of watching others on it. Also on Amazon, I upload to their video shorts platform. It's been one of the top viewed of mine on there as well. So that's been kind of neat to see that interest level, which I didn't see before. Let's see. Ash K is a big fan. Thank you. I'm a big fan of you because you're a fan of me. Lon.TV does computer repair. I think I remember him talking about that. Yeah, none of his equipment is NVMe anything. He's got SATA with SSDs. I think if, there's some value for NVMe, I think for media creation for sure. The raw bandwidth of NVMe, especially if you're doing video conversion, transcoding things, like that stuff can certainly be of value. And I think there's, depending on how good it's at random reads and writes, you'll see some improvement in performance that way too. But I think for most consumers, an inexpensive SATA SSD is going to be fine. It's what I use for most of my stuff. Let's see. RW wants to know if I ever used OnLive back when it was around. I did not. I may have done a demo of it, and I did play with the PlayStation streaming thing. All of them have been good, and that's it. The infrastructure is the key to it all. So that's definitely it. Eric Bazinga wants to know if I'd be open to a live stream later. He's going to be working tonight. Yeah, let me see. Maybe we'll put something out there. I'll make a note on the extras, on the wrap up. Maybe we'll do a game night. That'd be kind of fun. And we'll see if we can get a bunch of people into Rec Room. So I guess we could host a private room, right? So we could do something like that. Let me put that into my notes for the wrap up. And that might be kind of a fun thing to do. So we'll say, Rec Room game night. Let's try that out. Maybe we'll do a night that works. Eric, do you work every Saturday? Because I want to find a time that I can do and others can do too. Yeah, I think if after this year VR doesn't become profitable for somebody, it may not ever be a thing, or it's just going to be a very super niche thing. Because I can't imagine this being an inexpensive project for Valve. I'm sure they're probably covering some expenses, at least from the manufacturing side, by selling these for $1,000. But I don't know, the amount of money they put into developing it is substantial. What I am really excited about is the No Man's Sky VR. I've loved that game since it came out, and I really enjoy it. I've been playing it for 2 years. In fact, I just started a new game last night because my current save is all messed up from all the different updates they've done. And they're going to have a VR update coming out later this summer that I think might really be one of the killer apps that might be coming to this platform, because it's the same game, but it's doing some different things. So it'll be kind of fun to see how that plays out. Let's see. Vladimir wants to know how the PSVR measures against the PC or Xbox. I would say, the PC VR is the best. It's the best for frame rate, especially this new one here, when you can go up to 144 hertz. There's some headsets out now that are focusing on visual quality, and this one's got good visual quality, but there's a new one from HP that's doing 4K on each eye, which is remarkable. So I think if you have the money, the PC is the way to go. And there's a lot of great VR titles on the PC. And right now, a lot of them are on sale. I just bought a whole bunch on the Steam sale, so I've got a good library now. Oh, so Eric says we have to, okay, well, we can figure this out. Sundays, yeah, Sundays might work. Maybe do a Sunday afternoon or something. You know what I'll do is I'll put a thing out there on the wrap up, and maybe I'll do a doodle poll, and we can find like the time that works for everybody that's interested. I'm just curious to see how many people have picked up VR over the last couple of months, because I could even go into my Quest and do it too. But Sundays could work. Good. All right, so I think I need to end this soon, because I want to upload that video to the extras channel of me unboxing this. And that way, if I do the stream, I can push that out to my feed and let everybody know. Because I will know when my wife gets back if I'm going to be able to get out of this fireworks thing tonight. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Oh, Holiday wants to know about the mic on the Index. Yes, in fact, I watched a video the other day about the mic on the Index, and the person that was doing the video, I got to find, his channel is really good, actually. I think I've got him on my list of channels of the week. Let me see if I can find it real quick before I log off here. He did an entire like intro live stream using the Valve's, the Valve's microphone, and it sounded great. So yeah, I think they've improved that dramatically. It looks like they've tried to address like all of the things that were bugging people, and that seems to be a good thing. So if you are into this stuff, let me go here. This computer is really slow. I'm going to find the channel that I've been watching, because he's got a lot of great VR. He's bought like every game there is, and he's been giving these little mini reviews and talking about some of the ones that he thinks are the best. Oh, I'm looking at history here. Okay, let me go see all. YouTube changed their interface again. All right, so let's see if I can find the video that I watched. Okay, it's Ben Plays VR. And this is one of those underappreciated channels where this guy is working his butt off, and he's got 27,000 subscribers. And yeah, I don't have my camera zoomed in, but this is what the channel looks like. Ben Plays VR. And this is like, this guy is doing it, you know, like this is the thing. You want to like start a YouTube channel, you got to put the time in, and he's putting the time in, and it's good content. So Ben Plays VR, and he's got a video up of the Index that he unboxed and started playing with. He's doing more than I'm doing, and he actually hooked it up. And it's good stuff, so definitely check it out. Londog, one last question here. What kind of performance would you need for a device? So really what it comes down to is the GPU. I think I'm going to be fine with my 1080, and I think as like any computer game, if you want more graphical fidelity and detail and frame rate, then you got to buy a faster GPU. So I'm guessing maybe some kind of SLI arrangement would be better. The 1080 Ti is probably a good one. We'll see how well the 1080 does. I'm assuming it's going to be okay, but you never know. And again, it's a matter of what the game supports. You know, there's a lot of, you'll find on the Steam store, there's a lot of experiments going on with VR with software that's not all that optimized. So you'll see things not work all that great even with a 1080. And what happens is that when the frame rate drops, if you are sensitive to motion sickness, you will not enjoy yourself at all when you have performance issues. So that's important. Holiday upped his game to, whoa, a 2080 Ti. Yep, that's going to do just fine. So you know, that's a good path to take. So that's really what it comes down to. So I think if you have a 1070, you should be fine. The graphic quality will be reduced. You could adjust the frame rate if you need to. You know, it's going to be one of these things where you're going to have to configure everything and try to figure it out. So, all right, everybody, I am going to go upload the video. I'm going to take care of the family, and then I will put out a thing on the little post thing on YouTube about whether or not I'm streaming tonight or tomorrow or whenever. So I will try to get a preview out there. And that is going to do it for this live stream. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. And I want to thank Tristan Leonard for the super chat. And I will see you all hopefully very soon. And if you don't see me tonight, I got a video going up tonight of the Pocket Go from BitBoy. So you'll have something to watch no matter what I do. And if I do something tonight, this will go up on Sunday morning. So that's the plan. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate that. It's kind of fun to be able to push a button and connect to all of you whenever I want. That's just like neat. So cool. All right. I will talk to you all in a little bit. Bye for now.